Hey Holly Rockers, and y'all want to eat this fruit salad so bad. Don't this look good? It's pineapples, cantaloupe, strawberries, and this is fresh pineapples. I don't have no cherry. It's a mango. No cherries got in here. Oh, cantaloupe. So good. Honey, don't y'all, why she eating on camera? Y'all know me. So weekend was the bomb. I hear music in the air. The bomb. WGRI Inspiration 1050. The bomb. The concert. The bomb. The temple. That I really do not remember the whole name, but it's Temple Kojic, I think. And they came. I didn't even know they was coming. They came. They sang my jam, y'all. I was up in that balcony like, oh shoot. And then the lead the lead singer was getting down, boy. And then, now I'm telling y'all the truth, I only came, my main focus was to come hear Anita Wilson. I did not expect to meet her, but I had purposed in my heart that I wanted to see her. Man, who was acting all giddy and starstruck? And y'all probably saw my video on social cam, but Anita Wilson, I love her. She's so classy. I love it. I love her style, like her style of dress and presenting herself is so classy. But anyway, I got on here this evening because I was reading 1 Samuel 17 talking about Goliath, and I'm gonna now. I go to BibleGateway.com and they have a feature. I think it is the English Standard Version. They can it can play, what is it, I forget what they call it, but they read the Bible and you can read along with them, and I like doing that. So that's what I kind of want to do, because they were talking about David and Goliath, and I was seeing some things in here that I normally did not see, and I'm gonna try to be quick because y'all know I talk forever. So this dude might talk a little slow. We gonna try him anyway, and then I'm gonna be pausing, and you know how they do that.
Philistines gathered their armies for battle.
No, that's not gonna work for me. Okay, so they talking about, okay, verse 4 is talking about, and a champion went out from the camp of the Philistines named Goliath from Gath, whose height with 6 cubits in the span. I think that means he was like between 13 and 15 feet. He had on a whole bunch of weight. He had on a coat of bronze. That's metal. He had on a coat of it. Armor on his legs. He had a bronze javelin between his shoulders. The staff was like a weaver's beam. So he's 13 to 15 feet. So that's like 2 of Shaq's. So everything he has is big and it's huge, and it looks intimidating, and he sounds intimidating. Then he stood and cried out to the armies of Israel and said to them, why have you come out to line up for battle? Like, why y'all here, basically? Am I not a Philistine and you the servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves and let him come down to me. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we'll be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then y'all about to be my servants. So he's taunting them, messing with them, basically telling them that y'all not even equipped to fight one of us, which is me. He was the champion for the Philistines. So and the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. So he, do what y'all do. Give me somebody to fight so I can kill him. So, we can get this over with, because basically y'all nothing. Does that sound familiar? How the enemy talks to some of us? So when Saul and Israel heard these words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Does that sound familiar? The enemy talked real loud, but they saw their enemy. We don't always see ours. So he talking real loud. So now David, he was the son of the Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse. He had 8 sons, and the man was old, advanced in years in the days of Saul. The 3 oldest sons of Jesse had gone to follow Saul to the battle. The names of the 3 sons, okay, they go through the names. David was the youngest, and the 3 oldest followed Saul, which means they were in the army. But David occasionally went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. So even though he was still on another assignment, he still took care of home. Hello. his ministry at home did not fail. That is the ministry at your house, your home, your family, the things of your family, and the church, your church home. So the Philistine, he drew near and presented himself 40 days, morning and evening. So he taunted these people 80 times. Morning and evening, that's 2 times 40, that's 80. Like, he doing a lot. So Jesse said to his son, which is David, take your brothers an ephah of this dry grain and these 10 loaves, and run to your brothers at the camp and carry these 10 cheeses to the captain. So he feeding the soldiers and the captains. Your brothers fare and bring back news of them. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah fighting with the Philistines. They were fighting and they were being tortured. So David rose early in the morning, left the sheep with the keeper. He's still taking care of home, still going on assignment, and took the things and went as Jesse had commanded him. He came to the camp as the army was going out to the fight and shouting for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had drawn up in battle army against army. Battle array. So they had on their gear. And David left his supplies in the hand of the supply keeper, ran to the army, and came and greeted his brothers. Hey brothers, how y'all doing? What's going on? Y'all okay? Here goes the food. Then as he talked with them, there was a champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, coming up from the armies of the Philistines, and he spoke according to the same words. So he's saying the same stuff over and over and over. He's taunting them. Sound familiar? So David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, they fled from dude. They were dreadfully afraid. So, they like that afraid that you about to pee on yourself. That's how scared they were. So the men of Israel said, have you seen this man who has come up? Surely he has come up to defy Israel. And it shall be that the man who kills him, the king will enrich with great riches, will give him his daughter. So basically, when someone from that army goes to kill the champion, they're going to get rewarded. Sound familiar? Then David spoke to the men who stood by him, saying, what shall be done for the man who kills? So they told him blah blah blah. Now Eliab, his oldest brother, heard when he spoke to the men, and Eliab's anger was aroused against David and said, why did you even come down here, and with whom have you left those sheep? So why you here? Aren't you supposed to be doing something else? You're not even equipped to do this. Who said you can come down here? Who said you can stand before us and the enemy? Does that sound familiar? People in your ear, the enemy in your ear, and then the people who you think gonna have your back, they're against you along with the enemy. Everybody's not gonna understand your assignment. Everybody's not gonna understand your purpose. Everybody's not gonna understand your process and your road to your destiny. As long as God has told you to do something, as long as God has told you to go, you go. Everybody gonna have their thing. They gonna say what they want to say. They gonna do what they want to do. But you obey God, period, no matter what. So David said, and this is still his brother. And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride and the insolence of your heart, for you have come down here to see the battle. And David said, what have I done now? Is there not a cause? Then he turned from him toward another and said the same thing. And these people answered him as the first ones did. Now, when the words which David spoke were heard, they reported them to Saul, and he said for him. Then David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail. David said this to Saul. Saul is the king. David is the sheep herder who's come down here to take care of his brothers as his father had sent him. So then David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Talking about the champion. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Come on, somebody. And Saul said to David, you ain't able to go against this Philistine and fight with him, for you are but a kid. You are a youth. And he's a man of war from his youth. So they looking at age. They looking at what you did, what you're supposed to do. You may be a little small, and you can be older, but you can be young in the body, young in Christ. So David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep. Now let me run down to you what I did, because you don't know my story. You don't know everything I've been through. You don't know my experience. So let me share a little bit of my testimony with you. So David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went out after it, struck it, and delivered the lamb from its mouth. Hands on. I'm a warrior. This is what I do. And when it rose against me, I caught it by its beard, and I struck it and killed it. So I'm up in the enemy's face. Oh, you want to steal something from me? Now I'm about to get in your face. I'm about to come straight to you by myself, of course, with God and heaven behind, but with God mainly, with the strength of God, the joy of God, the power, the authority, the dominion. Because back in Genesis, it told me that we have dominion over the things of the earth. So you come and you trying to take something from me. God already gave me the power and the dominion to come and get that. I'm about to go to the enemy and get my stuff. You not about to come up in my house and my household and my family, my friends, and take something that belongs to me without a fight. Now I've been equipped, and God has taught me how to use my equipment. So he went up to the enemy, grabbed him by the beard in his face, struck him, bam, dead. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them. Come on, somebody. You talking about authority and boldness in God? Like, oh nah, I done been through that. I done killed that. I done slayed that giant. But this giant right here, he ain't about to get away with it neither. Come on, man. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living God. You have come against God. You've come against the army of God. You've come against the people of God. And then you stand over there and you keep taunting us? No, sir. No, sir. Not today. Boy, listen. Moreover, David said, the Lord who delivered me, come on. He already delivered me from some stuff, so I can do this. He delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear. He will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine. Faith, belief, and trust, all right there. He will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you. Bam. That's all you need. So Saul clothed David with his army, with his armor, and he put a bronze helmet on his head. He also clothed him with a coat of mail. This is the what had kind of tripped me out. David fastened his sword to his armor, and tried to walk, for he had not tested them. And David said to Saul, I cannot walk with these, for I have not tested them. So David took them off. Now I'm not going against, what people tell you, well, you should try this and you should try that. Everything does not work for everybody, and that kind of blew my mind. I'm trying not to be on here too long, but that kind of blew my mind. Like, sometimes people, they see you going through stuff, and of course I'm not saying that prayer, fasting, studying the word, worship, praise, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those, because you should. But sometimes people, they try to put stuff on you and try to make you do things their way, when that's not how you work. That's not how God fashioned you to work. So you still have to listen to God. But just like David killed those other enemies, I'm gonna use that same thing. And it could have been prayer, fasting, praise, worship, studying the word of God. It could have been all of that. They could have been saying, well, make sure at 2 o'clock you pray this, and then at 2:30 you say this. No, God has already showed me how to beat this enemy, so I'm gonna follow God. That's kind of what I got from it. Then he took his staff in his hand, and he chose for himself 5 smooth stones. Oh, was that the 5 that I just? Okay. From the book, and he put them in a shepherd's bag, and the pouch he had, and his sling was in his hand. He drew near to the Philistine, so the Philistine came and began drawing near to David. So he coming towards the enemy coming back. Okay, cool. That's what you want to do. You want to die like that? That's okay. So the man who bore the shield went before David. I guess is where they get armor bearer. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was only a youth, ruddy and good looking. Don't be fooled, because I'm cute. So the Philistine said to David, am I a dog that you come to me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give your flesh Like, you coming for me? I'm about to kill you real quick. Give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. Then David said to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin. Oh, but this gets good. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day, he's decreeing and declaring it. This is so good. This day, the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. This, I wonder what Goliath was thinking. But honey, oh, the power and the anointing that was around David. Okay, let me wrap this up. And this day I will give you the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines to the birds of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Then all this assembly shall know that the Lord does not save with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. The battle is already God's, and he already won. We just walking through. We just obeying through. Come on, somebody. So it was when the Philistine arose and came and drew near to meet David, that David hurried and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. Then David put his hand in his bag, took out a stone, slung it, and struck the Philistine in the forehead, so that the stone sank into his forehead. So he busting up all type of skull vessels and veins and arteries. And he slung it, okay, into his forehead, and he fell on his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and the stone, and struck the Philistine and killed him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Now this is good too. Therefore David ran, stood over the Philistine, over the enemy. I'm standing over you because you under my feet, because you suck. You don't amount to nothing. You lose, I win. Okay, so David prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and the stone, and struck the Philistine and killed him, but there was no sword in David's hand. Therefore David ran, stood over the Philistine, took his sword and drew it out of his sheath and killed him and cut off his head with it. He cut his head off with his own weapon, the enemy's own weapon. How dumb do you feel? Well, you're dead, so you don't feel nothing. And when the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled. Come on now. So you taunted me 80 times in 40 days. You and your army, you and your cousins, your friends, all these other spirits. But I got God on my back. God is surrounding me. He has equipped me to use the armor that he has given me to fight. And then after I beat you, the rest of y'all want to leave. But y'all was so good with y'all champion. Oh, but you don't know my champion, huh? Magnify the Lord with me. Big God up to those enemies that can't stand a chance. You got to know who you are. Your authority, your dominion, faith, trust, belief. You got to know who you are, because you will win. I mean, it's proof right there. Proof right there. Little bitty old cute David done whooped up on somebody that's almost 20 feet tall. Man. Y'all let me know. Give me some testimonies. Tell me what y'all think. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, comment, pass it around. Y'all, we win. Come on, we win. We don't have to succumb to this. Let me go. This is 18 minutes already. I love y'all. Holy Rockettes, FBZs, IGers, Instagrammers. That's who the IGers is. Tweeter Babies, FBZs. Who else did I miss? Holy Rockettes. I love y'all. Love you. Sorry I'm looking rough. I went to the gym, y'all. I'm losing this weight. Okay.